So I finished the first deck on the house, on the front of the house, so now on to deck number 2. So in a previous episode I showed the old deck that was here that we had dragged away with the old 4-8N farm tractor, so make sure you check out that video. But what I'm going to build here, it's going to be a 30 by 8 feet along here, and then it's going to go in around the corner. I'm going to get rid of this old concrete deck, and it's going to go in 16 feet. And I'm going to have to leave a little access here to get underneath the house, right in that little spot right there. So I'm actually going to build a little deck that goes right here, where I can actually lift off if I need to access in the corner of the house underneath. So the floor deck boards are actually going to go across here, so all it will look like from the top of the deck is deck boards that start from the corner of the house right to here, and then I'll have a little handle to lift it off. But this is the next project. I've got the first board going, and it's all leveled, and I'm going to have to run a jackhammer to actually jack out this old cement deck. Tried taking it out with a hammer drill and a sledgehammer, and it's not budging it. So the deck's going to come from there right to this corner and wrap around. It's going to be like an L-shaped deck. So this just shows how much lumber you actually need to make a deck about that size. Here's my second delivery. And I keep my lumber in the garage to keep it nice and dry till I'm ready for it. So that's how much lumber you need to make a 30 by 8 and then 30 by 16 in a little spot. So we had to take a little break for work, but I'm going to be getting started again today. So we have the 2 by 10 by 16s in, and then they're going to be trimmed right here, and that deck there will be taken out tomorrow with a jackhammer. And then we'll continue framing. It's leveled against the house. Still have to level the front when I put in all the 4x4s. So we're all done the jackhammering. We ended up taking up quite a few concrete pads. Again, the deck's gone. We did 5 trips to the dump. That was about 13,000 pounds. And then I ended up renting this dump trailer. And you can see how full that is. There's probably another 6 tons at least in here, if not a little more. So all in all, the jackhammer worked great. We ended up working on a solid step. That's where it had its limitations compared to the steps that I was doing at my house, but it got through it. Anyways, again, it was just a little demo on the jackhammer and its capabilities. Again, it took up these concrete pads without any issues, and I'll be doing quite a bit more. So here's where we're at right now. I got a lot of the deck boards put on. The main support's all done. I've got actually 29 supports underneath this deck. It's not attached to the house, and the 4x4s are cut for the railing. Then I'll have a trim piece going between there, and then this is all going to be soil, so this will actually be brought up partway up the concrete blocks. And then I'm going to build a little hatch in the corner to access underneath the house. Again, this is about 31 feet long by about 8.5 this way and 16 at the end. Should almost mention this pressure treated brown wood is still somewhat wet. There's a lot of moisture in it. So what I've been doing is leaving no gaps between my deck boards, and within a week or two you'll actually start getting gaps. And what I've done is actually pulled the boards together with a ratchet strap to pull them nice and tight to get rid of the gaps. And again, in a week or two there'll be about a 2mm or so gap like the front deck that I did earlier. There we go. We got most of the gravel spread out. I'll use a rake for probably the rest of it to get all the little humps out, but spread out pretty good. Again, it was done with my 52 48N, and it was about 26,000 tons or 13 tons. So I'll spread her out and be putting the steps on the deck, and I'll get that video uploaded too shortly on how to build a deck. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're getting rid of this driveway area in front of the sun porch. So we've got 205 bags of soil down, and I got a couple of big bags of grass seed. If you notice, I put newspaper along the edge where it meets the gravel. That way it keeps the weeds down. And surprisingly, this will work for years. So the deck's been up for approximately a month or two. In that time, we took out the driveway that went right to there, put down about 6 inches of soil, and then seed on top of it. A little bit brown, but it's been quite hot. Been putting the water to it every day. One thing I did notice with the brown wood, it does fade out a little bit. So I'm going to be putting a treatment on top of that, and hopefully it will retain the color. So we've added steps. Now I'm trying to decide if I want railings, because I do find that coming from this direction I usually come up on the side of the steps, so that's to be decided at a later date. Again, it's roughly 31 feet by about just shy of 10 feet this way and 16 feet in this direction, so it's kind of like a big L shaped. And I have solar lights, and in the corner here where I can access the underside of my house, there's a part right here that I can actually lift out, and then there's an access. So I'm quite pleased again how it turned out. Building a deck of this size is a lot more work than I'd expected, but certainly nice once it's done, especially when you do it yourself. Again, I added a little step here going down, and again more solar lights. So I also did a deck on the front of the house. There's a video on that, and this is just showing the front of the deck. And I only wanted an entrance right there on the deck, and we'll go around to the front of the house and you can see the other deck. And the only thing I have left to do on this one is seal in the front of the steps. And there's a shot of the front door, again the first deck that I built, and the second one, that's a larger one. Anyways guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you post them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos on the 1800s old farmhouse. And the next step will be some renovations in the attic. Thanks for watching. Take care.